Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tech ChitChat Show. This is episode 6. My name is Ken, and you can find me on YouTube at Northern Viking Everyday and Northern Viking Explorer. I'm here with my co-host, Stephen Loney. You can find him on YouTube at Stephen Loney or on Twitter at 8-Bit Warrior. He is a programming champion. How are you this morning, Stephen?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
Awesome. Yeah, I've got my coffee. I'm all set. We've got some good stuff we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about guacamole. What?
Yes.
Guacamole. We'll talk about some beavers. Yes, beavers. We've got skyrocketing prices of hard drives in Asia. We've got the Apple event and some Discord talk. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff today. I'm excited about that. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, had a good restful weekend. Got rested up and feeling good.
Well, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. How about you?
Mine was really good, except for the fact that I shouldn't say except. I enjoy doing it, but my daughter is taking her driver's license test at the end of the week, so we've been doing a lot of training and no, covering my eyes. No, she's really good. Hopefully she passes. My hopes are there because she's doing really good.
If she passes, it'll be because of me, just so you know.
Yes, you have driven with her as well.
It's all me.
And when I found out about that, I'm like, you're crazy.
And if she fails, well, I guess I should still own it. So
yeah, so then it's your fault, not the driving instructor. Well, I've been the driving instructor, and hey, my glasses are fogging up. That's cool. All right.
Sweet.
That's probably from the stress of driving. All right. All right. Awesome morning. Well, let's get rolling here. We're going to start out with Discord today. There was some news from Discord. I guess originally there was some talks. When was that? A month or two ago about Discord or Microsoft being interested in buying Discord. Right. And I know we had some, I guess a month ago or two, we were like, oh no, even my boys were like, this doesn't sound like good news.
Yeah.
And so Discord's basically has said no to Microsoft on the acquisition talks. There is reported $12 billion being offered for Discord from Microsoft. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think I'm probably sharing your boys' excitement of yay, it didn't happen, because not that it would be the worst thing in the world if Microsoft bought them, but I had also been hearing some of the rumblings from people who didn't seem happy about Microsoft potentially buying Discord, because as we know, a lot of people like Discord, and it kind of made sense for Microsoft to buy them to maybe tie it into the Xbox Live program and all that stuff that they got going. But so I had heard some of the rumblings and some of the worries and concerns, especially since Microsoft had purchased Skype back in the day, and how many people are still using Skype day to day? Like, it's kind of dwindled since Microsoft purchased it. So there's been some concern that Discord would also start to dwindle under Microsoft's lead. So I was personally excited. I just found it really cool that Discord was willing to say no to a bunch of money. I'm like, well, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, and that being said, there are reports that also Amazon and Epic were interested in buying it. So
right.
Is there more to the story that we don't know? Maybe is there someone else who's going to buy it? Has Discord thought that someone else is a better fit? That's also an option.
That's true.
But I was just worried. You mentioned Skype, and I do wonder, like programs like Teams that are owned by Microsoft where you have voice capabilities, did they use the technology from buying Skype in that software?
That's possible. So
we might not see that they're using Skype as much, or that it's dwindled, but they might be using it behind the scenes. I know you and I use Discord a lot to chat and planning this program, and I guess I like the free aspect of it and how well it works.
Yeah.
And I'm scared that if it gets bought out by somebody else, it's gonna, maybe I know there's premium versions or whatever they call it. I'm just scared that we're going to lose all the capabilities like we are with other programs that are owned by some of these large corporations.
Well, I know that I've used Slack as well. You've probably used Slack too.
Minimally, I've tried it. Yeah.
So there's a lot of crossover between Slack and Discord. You could almost think that they're from the same company. They're not. But so Slack is known as like more the business focused one, and Discord more is the gamer focused chat. Yet I noticed that with Slack, at least when I was using it, there wasn't a way to like do video calls with it or anything for free. Like you had to pay, I think it was, for that. And Discord by default just did voice chat and video chat out of the box without any issue. And to me, it was kind of like, why are people using Slack when you can use Discord? It's like the same thing and you get more for free. And it's been kind of an interesting thing.
Well, similarly, we used to use Hangouts all the time, Google Hangouts, communicating with our kids or even you occasionally. And they pulled the voice, or now I'm confused. Some of the features got pulled back, and now Google has all these different things, and I'm not sure where to go to get. It was so simple back in the day. You look at Skype, for example, you had voice, you had text chat. It was all there. You could do it all for free. And all these programs, they seem to have all these features, and then they start pulling them out.
Yeah.
And
it seems to me culturally too, like I'm wondering, so from with this news, I'd like to think that Discord understands the culture of their user base and knows that this is not what they want. And it'd be cool to think that they are actually caring about the user base and keeping them happy and being like, no, you guys don't want that, so we're not going to, because they're probably already making enough money that they're fine. And I think Discord has a healthy monetization system. Like they have they're more gamer focused, and so and I'm actually using it quite actively for different groups now. And to even, it might be silly, but to even just post certain special like stickers or whatever, or certain animations in certain forums, I had to be like a paid member or something.
Okay.
And it actually, they actually almost have me. It's like, I might actually do that here soon enough. And I usually not for that kind of thing. Yeah.
So, well, and I don't mind paying for services that I use, but it's also nice to have some free ones if you're just using software here and there. So yeah.
So awesome. Good news overall, though.
Yeah, I think it is good news, and we'll see what happens if there's more news coming.
Yeah.
Awesome. Next up, the Apple event 2021 happened this week. Did you pay close attention to this or not too much until we started talking about it?
No.
No. I saw the articles popping up. I wasn't watching any live events or anything like that. I knew there could be some interesting stuff, and let's roll into that a little bit. I know you and I were skimming some of these articles, and we were a little bit underwhelmed in what came up until one thing, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So there was some interesting, let's call it interesting stuff that they did. They announced what would we call it? What did they call it here? The Apple AirTags, which looks like it's competition for Tile. So if you lose your devices, you can find them. An Apple version of Tile, I guess, would be what that is. There was some upgrades to if I'm not mistaken, to the iPad Pro and the iMac are getting the M1 chips, and some cool colored new, what are they called? I'm not a big Mac person, so I can never remember what they're called. Are these the iMacs? Yeah, iMacs. So multicolored iMacs, which I'm like, well, that's cool. I remember the old big box.
Yeah.
big box Macs with the colored back on them. And it'd be kind of cool if you had an office and everybody had a different color computer, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we're going back to the 90s and just taking and squishing it down to a flat screen, and now we're,
So
I don't know.
I think the biggest thing is the restamping on there the M1 chips, and that's the road they're going down.
There's a couple. Everything is just going to be like an M1 chip. It seems like there's going to consolidate all our devices. It seems to the same architecture.
Yeah, no, for sure. Some upgrades, I think, to the Apple TV. And the big news, the purple iPhone 12.
Purple iPhone.
So the big news of the week, actually, okay, this is funny. All this stuff that came out, and then you brought to my attention the one thing we kind of geeked out about this morning.
One thing to redeem this, that, okay, you know what? I'm not a fan of this whole event, but this right here, the magnetic power plug that doubles as an Ethernet cable. Okay, this is kind of cool. So, allows you to basically plug in with one plug your power in your Ethernet cable in one, which is cool. So you don't have to have two cables. It's just, that's neat.
Right? I think that's really cool. I'm excited for Apple that they're getting this, but I'm actually more excited about the future of technology with this, actually. Okay. Right. And I say that because my monitor here currently has 3 plugs going into it. It has, I shouldn't say that. It's got 2 plugs. Well, sort of has 3 plugs. It has the power cable. It has an HDMI cable, which does the audio, but then it has my speaker wires coming out. Mm-hmm. And it would be kind of cool if it was just one wire for everything.
Right.
So even if on standard monitors, if HDMI and power and audio were all combined into one, that would be kind of cool. I think. I
have a solution for you.
What's that?
You can buy an Apple. I can't remember the name of it. What's their laptop called? Just buy a laptop. What are the Apple ones?
A MacBook?
A MacBook. Just buy a MacBook, right? It's all there. You don't need cables.
That's true. I have so many cables. It's like a rat's nest back here of cables because I've got so many. I've got multiple cameras and I'm
not
scared
lie,
to look
though,
back there.
If the day came that all cables were consolidated into one, I might be sad because I kind of like dealing with the mess of cables. There's kind of this maybe it's nostalgia at this point, but I'd maybe miss it.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
Yeah.
Cable management, it's a thing, people can enjoy it.
Well, I was trying to see if my webcam was plugged into my computer, and it was following this cable through this rat's nest of messy things to see, because I saw there's a USB plug that wasn't plugged into anything, and I was trying to figure out what it was. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Apple, I guess there's some cool stuff there. Yeah. Well, let's move on. Fun stuff now. Guacamole.
Whoa, what do you mean guacamole?
Well, if you're watching, I've got a kind of Easter egg here on my screen. If you're watching on YouTube and not the podcast, you should see, right up here, I've got some guacamole in the background.
Guacamole there.
Yeah. Actually, we're going to be talking about Google's guacamole. And
we're not going to be taste testing this morning.
Well, that would actually have been a better idea. Because I think this is going sideways pretty quick here.
Sorry, carry on.
Google's guacamole. So there are rumors that a feature is coming out on Android called Guacamole. Some people are reporting that they're seeing it in their settings, but they can't access it yet. And what it is, so we've got in our Android phones, you can say, "Hey Google," and you can tell it to do things for you. And now my phone, I'm scared that it's doing all sorts of weird things. But Guacamole will allow you to, if your alarm's going off, just say stop or snooze, or even answer and decline calls without having to say, "Hey Google." There, I said it again. Right. And so it's what I think, from what I'm understanding, when your phone is doing something, so an alarm or a call, you don't actually have to say, "Hey Google." You can actually just say answer or decline, or stop or snooze, which is kind of a cool feature. If that is in there. Now, we were talking last night, it'd be really cool if you could customize that.
Yeah, and that's actually where I would find this really cool, because if they don't allow you to customize it, you just have more commands that you have to memorize. I don't know. This sounds really cool to me if you can customize it, if you can make your own custom phrases for answering, for declining, for sending a message to a specific person. If I could have an alarm go and I could say, "Hey, cut it out," right? And a certain phrase, and it would work. Cool. Have my own custom way of doing that, because it would also give you a way to make your own custom phrases to prevent other people from having that phrase to be used as well in certain settings.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
Well, maybe in your workplace you say the word answer a lot. Maybe you're a teacher and you're saying, "Does anyone know the answer?"
Right.
And
Right.
it's answering your phone. I mean, that's an extreme example, but if you could just say guacamole and then it would answer your phone.
Right.
It's not a common word that you might be saying all the time.
But then if you're working in a Mexican restaurant, like, you never know. Then you're like having issues because
every time someone orders guacamole, your phone call gets answered.
Yeah. And so I think if they allow this to be customizable with your own custom phrases, like preset actions that you can then customize, like that would be neat, and that would be cool. And you could have, you could customize it. You could like geek out and customize it to be like Star Trek phrases.
Yeah.
Like number 1, make it so, torpedoes full spread. Like you just like make total dork phrases. And
I'm trying to come up with a Star Wars thing to say right now, and I can't because you said Star Trek, and I just wanted to wreck everybody's life. But Obi-Wan Kenobi.
These are not the droids you're looking for. But you know that nerds would do it. Like geeks and stuff would love this. You just total theme out your phone. Yeah, with those phrases, that'd be so
I can see that you have a Star Wars theme.
Yeah,
and then all the words are Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever you want it to be. Maybe you love Nintendo or Mario. You could have like I don't know, Mario to answer the phone and Bowser to hang up.
Sure.
What? No, if you can customize it, you could make it kind of cool.
Yeah, and I think that's where it'd be a winner. Is that would just allow you to totally customize it, and it could be quirky and fun, and I think that'd be great.
Yeah, no, I think that would be a lot of fun. Yeah. Let's keep rolling here. What's our next one? We're going to talk about hard drive prices are skyrocketing in Asia.
Oh no!
Oh no! Well, I'm kind of worried about that. I saw this pop up. And I'm like, I started looking at my computer and I'm like, do I need more storage? No, I'm like, should I be buying another hard drive now while I can still get them?
Right.
If I need more space in the next year is kind of what I'm thinking.
No, it's a reasonable concern is because even if this, what we're talking about here, even if this concern doesn't materialize long-term, right now, people, the news of it and the worry of it could cause prices to go up, not even an actual real issue. So I'm new to this concept here, and I was doing a little bit of trying to get familiar with what's going on. Because we commonly know of Bitcoin and Dogecoin and Ethereum and those things, which is using a lot of its GPU graphical processors and stuff to crunch numbers to make Bitcoins and all that stuff, using like encrypted algorithms and all that. So this process, people are now looking into buying all the storage to accommodate for this cryptocurrency, which makes use of hard drive space rather than,
it's called chia.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Right. So chia fundamentally works different. It uses hard drive space instead. And this really just kind of blowing my mind a bit, being like, okay, how is this working? And I was trying to do a little bit of research on this, and it was really struggling to get what's going on here. So there was one video from a guy I was able to shed some light on this. Maybe I'll find a link later we can share. I don't think I agree with everything he's saying, but I think there's still things in there that was interesting. He mentioned how chia apparently is built by the guy who originally made BitTorrent. Okay. So a peer-to-peer system for file sharing. So it seems to me to be more of this So what it looks like to me is that you provide storage space for chia. So you do something called plotting. You plot space on your storage, and then chia, you will use some of your hard drive space to validate that there in this physical space is this set currency that you reserve. And I'm guessing it's part of like a network that it knows where the stuff is designated, and it stores it physically. It's weird.
I'm glad that you just said all of that because I'm so lost. And
I am struggling. I'm struggling. You should be lost.
Okay, let me simplify this. Chia is supposed to start on May the 3rd, or start trading on May the 3rd, and people are buying up hard drives to mine chia, and it's storing up the prices. They're scalpers and whatnot.
Yeah.
And beyond that, I am lost.
So no, and I am largely confused too. And it's just interesting that it's this technique, and I'm trying to think about, is this actually legit? And it seems to be legit, but I'm also you know what, this really could, so this is something interesting. So this is Burst Coin. This is not new. Apparently this is not new. And apparently Burst Coin, I think, is similar. I could be wrong, but I believe Burst Coin is similar to chia.
Burst Coin spiked in 2018.
Yes. So back in that time, Burst Coin bursted on the scene, so to speak. And I think sorry. And I think it was a similar technique here. And you can see it. So if you're watching through YouTube, you can see it spike like really high, okay? And then it plummets. Also in like 2018, and then in the 2019, it's like nothing. And even today, there's a bit of a spike going up again today, probably because of some interest in chia right now. But this seems, if this is a repeat of before, this technique, we've seen this in 2018 already. It could be this massive buying of hard drives, and there could be this massive spike for the next 6 months, and then it just dies off, and we have tons of people with hard drives selling them off. We could maybe get a bunch of used hard drives cheap.
Yeah.
People are saying that,
it's just showing that it's extremely volatile, and I mean, whether Burst is the same style or not, which we're kind of still not sure, it just shows how volatile this can be. And
the thing that I'm concerned about is just that, so the one argument that I heard is that this is, more eco-friendly than Bitcoin mining and all that, but I'm not sure I agree, because if people are starting to more mass produce hard drives aren't made for free. They take resources to make hard drives. And I don't know that this is greener when you look at the cost, the material of hard drives. Is it actually more green? Debatable. Are we going to end up with a bunch of, you know what I mean, different kind of waste? Sure, it may not be energy use, but it might be still energy use in the factories trying to push up hard drives now. China. Will it lower the quality of hard drives? Will there be people trying to push up hard drives quicker and lower these are just things to consider.
Yeah.
Overall,
and that being said, I think it's good to stick with the main brands of hard drives. At least you're getting. Yeah. You should be getting a quality product then, but.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if the market gets really bad and stuff is hard to find, will you start getting alternatives that are cheaper and not as, if that's the case? But
yeah. Well, and it was showing some of the article was showing some of the price charting and how, like, the Western Digital was up over 40%, the Seagate, and these are the big ones, the 18 terabyte ones. The Seagate one was up over 66%. So there's some pretty big jumps in the hard drive pricing in China based on that. So
and I just want to say, overall, I don't know that I don't know if I should talk on this, but I don't like the feeling that I get from this kind of mining. In general, I'm not a big fan. And I don't want to speak too harshly, but I'm a little bit bothered when you're just reserving hard drive space and things for a subjective. I don't know. It doesn't seem right to me, and I could be wrong, but I'm I don't know.
We'll see what happens. I guess the world's an interesting place right now. On a lighter note, this is my favorite story of the week.
Yeah, I'm glad we're finishing on a lighter note.
Because we probably lost all the viewers by now by talking about chia.
Chia.
There's a lot of food terms: guacamole, chia,
And now,
beavers.
Beavers. What do they do, Ken?
Well, okay, we're in British Columbia, Canada, so this happened in our own province here. The Beavers took down the internet here in British Columbia.
It happened.
Well, not all of British Columbia, in a small town up north, I should say.
The Beavers are rising up.
The Beavers. So these Beavers in Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia, so it's a small community. About 2,000 people lost their internet for 36 hours because these Beavers were trying to build a dam and dug underground and chewed through 4.5-inch thick conduit to get to, I believe it was Telus' fiber optic lines, if I remember.
I think so. I believe it's,
Yeah, they're fiber cables.
Yeah.
And they chewed through those in multiple places and cut the internet out for Tumbler Ridge. Amazing.
Yeah. I kind of wish the article was named A Beaver's Dam Up Internet Stream. But, but
Yeah.
This is adorable. Like, it's you can't even really be mad. Like, if I was a customer and lost service, I'd be like, good for them. Good for the Beavers.
If I called Telus and they're like, well, the Beavers ate your cable or your fiber cable, I'd be like, okay, you can come up with something better than that.
But it's as odd as it is, we know it's totally a thing. Like, Beavers would do that.
Yeah.
They're known for causing issues. Like, so.
Well, okay. So I wish I would have pulled up this article. Remember, I think you were telling me about in Europe somewhere, there was the internet outage. And it had to do with someone plugging something in or something in a small town.
Okay.
There was like a whole town that their internet kept going down, and because it had to do with because of one person. It was like this big article going around.
Well, you never know, because if your small town if its network is not stable and one person surges and fries, why not?
Okay, if I can find that article, I'll put it in the description below. Okay. Or a YouTube video or something, because it was kind of funny as well. Kind of goes along the lines of this beaver. Now I wish I'd found it, but it's it is kind of funny. I mean, it's common here that birds take out the power and things like that in British Columbia. So why should we be surprised when beavers take out the internet?
Take out the internet for 2,000 people for 36 hours.
Yeah. So it's awesome. Well, we do have a question of the day on a letter note again. Do you like guacamole?
I do like guacamole.
I like, you know what? I used to not like guacamole. I really like guacamole now. But I think we're going to go on both sides. Not just, you can leave it in the comment section, whether you like the food guacamole or not, because that one's, some people either love it or hate it. But also on the other side of Google's guacamole, would you use this feature where you can answer your phone by just saying answer, or tell your phone to snooze when you wake up in the morning? Actually, that would be really handy. You don't even need to look at your phone and your alarm goes off and you just say snooze and you go back to sleep. It's also dangerous.
I know, that's what I was thinking. It's like, that is dangerous.
So leave a comment whether you would use Google's guacamole or if you would eat normal guacamole. We'd love to hear about that in the comments below. Final thoughts, Stephen.
No, my mind is now consumed with guacamole and I'm struggling to think clearly. So
all right. Help me. Time for some chips and guacamole.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was episode 6. Sorry for boring you for half an hour of the Tech ChitChat Show. Until next time, thank you so much for watching and listening. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube and on all the podcasting networks. Until next time, we're signing off. Take care.